2 gigabytes of RAM, running a 26 billion parameter model. That's the claim with turbo field flare. Man, say that 3 times fast. 165,000 people watched a video about it just this past month. That made me want to take a look at it. On a Mac Mini M4 Pro that's already running 14 containers, my cameras, my DNS, my whole smart home. This is not a clean benchmark box built from scratch. The turbo field claim is true, and that's not even the interesting part of the video. If you run anything on a Mac Mini or you want to support a special needs family, hit that subscribe button. Everything I test here runs on hardware I actually paid for. No gimmicks, just real hardware and real tests. Let's get into it. Gemma 4 is a 26 billion parameter mixture of experts, MOE, model. 26 billion parameters total, but only 4 billion wake up for any given token. So instead of loading all 22 gigabytes, this thing keeps a small shared core memory around 1.3 gigabytes. Expert blocks then get streamed off the hard drive, the solid state drive, per token as the model asks for them. That's the entire trick. The model isn't smaller, it just runs off disk instead of memory. Turbo Field Flare's own docs say the router picks experts mid-layer, so there's no prefetch. The CPU stops and goes to disk with about 30 times per token, which raises the question this whole video is about. What happens when the SSD is already busy? First test, stock settings, everything running. 2.08 gigabytes. They published 2.1. On a machine doing 14 other jobs at the same time. The headline is real. The claim is true. I want to be clear about that because the rest of this video is going to sound like a takedown, but it's not. 2 gigabytes is measured at a 4,000 token context window. 4,000 tokens is about one long email. That's where the config number comes from. So I gave it a real context. 64,000. Memory went up to 3.25 gigabytes. Then I turned up the expert cache. That setting keeps more of those blocks in memory instead of going to disk. That ballooned to 4.76 gigabytes. 2 gigs became 4.76, more than double. What I didn't expect, the app told me it was printed right there on the panel, plus 1.26 for context, plus 1.61 for the cache, but it predicted 2.87. I measured 2.68. Nothing was hidden, it was on the screen, didn't read it. Nobody does. For scale, Qwen 3.5, 9 billion. The model I'm about to compare it to is 5.98 gigabytes. Actually configured for real work, the memory advantage goes from 3 times smaller to about 1.25 times smaller. I changed both settings at once the first time, which was sloppy, and I couldn't tell which one did what. So I ran it again, one variable at a time. Context is pure rent. 64,000 costs you 1.17 gig and makes it very slightly slower. It buys room, nothing else. The expert cache is the only setting that buys speed. 1.51 gig and decode went up 43%. Disk time per token dropped the same 43%. That's pretty slick. The actual trade is RAM for disk weighting. Nothing else moves the needle. Now the question I actually built this channel to answer. With everything running, 13.1 tokens a second. Everything stopped. 15.6. My Homelab is costing me 19%. But look at those numbers again. 31 to 35 tokens a second. Even with my machine completely idle, I'm at half that. So the honest answer is, my Homelab barely matters. My chip does. The other video used an M5 Pro. Mine is an M4 Pro. That gap is silicon, not container. If I would have blamed my Homelab, I'd have been completely wrong. If you watched the Mac Studio cluster video, I said there was no wall. I looked for one, and I didn't find it. That was the model that sits entirely in RAM, and stopping my Homelab changed it by 1.6%. This one is 19%. Same machine, same Homelab. So a streaming model is about 12 times more sensitive to a busy machine than a resident one. I'm not taking back there's no wall, I'm just telling you where the edge of that statement is. Last test, the real question, is bigger actually better? At least when it comes to AI models. 26 billion parameters streaming off of a busy SSD against Qwen 3.5, 9 billion sitting entirely in RAM. Same prompt, same machine, same 14 containers, temperature 0, both are deterministic, identical harnesses, I stopped using the apps and hit both through the same API, so nothing was measuring itself differently. Qwen generated almost twice as fast, 31 tokens per second, against 17. It lost. The big model, 2.6 seconds. The small one, 56 seconds. Finished, 32 seconds against 70. The small model is twice as fast and takes twice as long, because it's a reasoning model. Before it says anything to you, it writes 8,100 characters of thinking that you never see. That's what I actually took away from this. Tokens per second is the number everybody publishes. It's in every comparison video, it's in the documentation. It's the number I opened this video with. If all you had was the tokens per second numbers, you'd pick the wrong model. Tokens per second assumes every token is worth the same. The moment a model spends 3/4 of its output thinking where you can't see it, the assumption breaks, and the matrix keeps reporting a win while you sit there watching nothing happen. I didn't catch anybody lying. The number is correct. It's just measuring something other than waiting. Things I'd want to know before installing. It runs one model, Gemma 4, 26 billion, pinned. The installer has no option to point it anywhere else. Couldn't run Qwen or any other model even if they added one. Qwen is dense. Every parameter fires every token. There are no experts to stream, so this isn't run a big model on small memory. It's one specific model, one specific architecture. Time to first token is rough, 9 to 14 seconds on a 61 token prompt, and the first request after you launch it costs 5 times that, because the cache is cold. Same model, same settings, first one's painful, everything after is instant. And it's text only. No images, no audios, just text in and text out. I want to clear the air about one thing I did not test. I did not benchmark it on code, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's bad at coding or it's good at coding. I didn't test it, so sorry. One genuinely nice thing, this installs to a single folder, 14 gig, one directory, nothing hiding in your library. That's rarer than it should be. You can quickly and cleanly remove it. I jacked up my first comparison run. It was garbage and I almost used it. LLM Studio Bionic defaults to an agent mode. It worked for 3 minutes and 22 seconds, decided to write a full file to disk, and reported no speed at all. I nearly put that next to a 39-second number in the video. My first real measurement was 5 times slower than the truth because the cache was cold. That number almost went in the video too. Everything here ran on a Mac Mini that never stopped doing its actual job. So, is bigger better? Well, at least on this machine, with these two models, yes. But not for the reason the spec sheet would tell you. Not thinking one, not a bigger model. I set out to ask whether bigger is better. The honest answer is that question was wrong. What decided this wasn't size. It was that one of them thinks before it speaks. If this is the kind of testing you want more of, please like and subscribe, tell your friends. Y'all take care, and I'll see you in the next one.